Good day from Inside Drug Discovery. This video covers a new drug, Nereus, which was recently approved by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. This video emphasizes the drug's medicinal chemistry properties instead of outcomes in patients or the drug's efficacy. Nereus was approved on December 30th of 2025. Nereus is approved for prevention of vomiting induced by motion in adults. For the purpose of this indication, motion sickness is considered to be an acute condition, so Nereus is not approved for chronic use. Nereus's active pharmaceutical ingredient is tradipitant. The drug is administered orally as a single dose of either 85 or 170 milligrams. If needed, the drug can be taken once per day. The sponsor for the NDA is Vanda Pharmaceuticals. A link to the prescribing information insert of Nereus is shown on this slide as well as in the video description. I will say that the API tradipitant has something of a history, and I would not be surprised if the compound is approved for additional indications over time. So the current indication is prevention of vomiting induced by motion. Vomiting and nausea can arise from a number of causes, including motion sickness, migraines, pregnancy, severe pain, stomach flu, and chemotherapy. Nereus is not a general anti-nausea drug. It is specifically for prevention of vomiting from motion sickness. I do like the brand name Nereus. Nereus is a name for a Greek sea god, so naming a motion sickness drug Nereus has some rationale. Tradipitant acts on the neurokinin-1 receptor as an antagonist. Its Ki on the NK1 receptor is 0.062 nanomolar, so this is an exquisitely potent compound. 62 picomolar for a small molecule drug is quite impressive. In the presence of substance P, an endogenous ligand for the NK1 receptor, the affinity of tradipitant for the NK1 receptor is also impressive with a Kb of 0.095 nanomolar. Tradipitant shows poor or no affinity for other receptors of concern, including other neurokinin receptors. Here are the physicochemical properties of tradipitant. As an orally administered drug, tradipitant does stand out with its relatively high molecular weight, log P, and hydrogen bond acceptors. Remember tradipitant's fantastic potency? What is one way to achieve higher potency? You design a larger compound with more contacts with the drug target. Larger compounds have higher molecular weights and often greater lipophilicity. Collectively, these are red flags, and we'll want to keep in mind these violations, Lipinski violations, as we consider other properties of the drug. Let's look at the PK properties. The half-life is long at 34 hours, so presumably a single dose of the drug may be effective for reducing vomiting for a day or longer. The volume of distribution and clearance are both high as listed. The oral bioavailability has not been determined in humans. I think it's safe to predict the bioavailability of the drug is low based on physicochemical properties. Are there other reasons to think the bioavailability is low? I think so. The dose is 85 milligrams. That's not a large dose in the grand scheme of orally administered small molecule drugs, but it is a rather large dose given the remarkable potency of this compound. Why would such a potent compound require an 85 milligram dose? Poor absorption seems to be a likely explanation in this case. Specific information on metabolism of tradipitant is incomplete, but the compound seems to undergo both CYP and non-CYP mediated reactions. 4 major circulating metabolites are mentioned in the prescribing information, and all 4 metabolites have reasonable potency on the NK1 receptor. The drug is extensively metabolized, and excreted compounds are almost exclusively metabolites, with excretion via the feces being the major pathway. The only warning in the prescribing information for Nereus is impairment of one's ability to drive or operate machinery. Adverse reactions observed in at least 5% of patients include somnolence, headache, and fatigue. That concludes the NDA approval of Nereus, which was announced by the U.S. FDA on December 30th of 2025. Nereus contains tradipitant as its active pharmaceutical ingredient. Nereus is approved for prevention of vomiting induced by motion in adults. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, or leave a comment. Take care.